Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, and today I'm going to take a break from doing some patch 2.3 stuff, although I still have a lot on my plate for videos I need to make, and I'm actually going to talk about something that I've been forgetting to tell you guys for the last week now. There's another live letter coming up. That's right, the live letter part 16 is going to be on Monday, July 21st, 2014 at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m. Eastern, noon GMT, you know, time. Anyway, what are the themes going to be for this one? Now, there are three major sections that they're going to cover. The first one is questions and feedback about patch 2.3, which I'm sure is going to be mostly about the hunt. That is where most people are showing their concern, as it is the piece of content that has affected the game itself the most, I think anybody can agree with. There may be some frontlines, Ramu, Savage, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Lead planner Komodo is also going to make an appearance. He's going to be answering questions about game design, seasonal events, the Eorzean economy, and more things. So just make sure to go over to his forum and read exactly what you're going to be, exactly what is going to be covered when you're asking him questions. And the last topic, and this is actually my favorite one, the future of A Realm Reborn. Now, that is a topic that can bring good tidings or bad tidings. You know, everybody has their own ideas of what the quote-unquote future for the game is. I'd like it to be more along the lines of, you know, an expansion announcement. You know, even if it's just a short, like, 20-second trailer that gives us the name of the expansion or something. Patch 2.4, the next Primal, maybe some sort of teases for patch 2.4, patch 2.5. How many patches can we expect? I'm expecting they're not going to go too much into detail because with the fan festival in October, that's really where they're going to nail down certain things. But it would be nice to get an idea of at least some of the things that people ask about all the time. New classes, new jobs, gear stats, rating difficulties. You know, there's tons of different things. As you can see me stuttering through my words, there's a lot of different things people are asking about. And as my YouTube base knows, I do always ask a few questions every single time there's one of these live letters. So let's go through what my questions were. I don't have too many of them, so I'll try and make this quick. So I didn't really have any questions for the lead planner himself. I wasn't exactly sure what to ask that I couldn't just ask in the other two sections. Eorzean economy, seasonal events. Yeah, those things are great, but they're not the kind of things I want to ask questions about. So I left that section alone. As for the patch 2.3 questions and feedback, I really only asked what they would have done different about the hunt's arrival. You know, after the hunt arrived in the game, is there something different the development team wishes they'd done? Because obviously it's had such a major impact in the game that I just wonder if seeing it now, what they would have done differently. Where I really put all my cards is in the future of A Realm Reborn. Now, I asked a bunch of questions that I have asked in previous live letters, so some of these may seem familiar. Like, this one is actually an idea I came up with a while ago, and I was going to make a standalone video on it, and I still may, but I asked the question, have you considered content that is in the open world, but instanced for a full raid group? Obviously, we have the treasure hunts that are kind of like that, and leave quests, which are also kind of like that. And then I gave an example, such as force spawning an Ifrit that you can encounter in the open world. It'll create a small battlefield that only the 8 party members can enter, but everybody else can watch on. I really love content like that, that's in the open world, but it's exclusive to the group that is fighting it, but other people can still feel like they're a part of it, and it's a part of the world, and it's something that's epic and great to see. I love that kind of content, so I asked about that. My next question was, what other Final Fantasy dungeons would you like to replicate in A Realm Reborn? Now, they already said that when the Crystal Tower comes to an end, they have a plan for the future, and we're probably going to see more Final Fantasy themed dungeons, but there's so many of them to choose from. I'd like to know what Yoshi-P's favorites are when it comes to this one, so I'm hopefully he'll answer that question. Now, this next one I've been made fun of for quite a bit, but I had to ask it. I had the opportunity, and I had to ask it. I said, all right, so with 2.0 being called Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, will the expansion keep the A Realm Reborn in the title, or will it become Final Fantasy XIV name of expansion? I'm just wondering because so many people have come to call it A Realm Reborn. You know, most people don't even call it Final Fantasy XIV anymore, or they say the whole thing, you know? So I'm wondering if A Realm Reborn is going to be part of the title. It's a nerdy thing to ask. I know, let's move on to the next one. This is something that I think I'm one of the few people that wants to ask it. Have you considered a Savage difficulty for the Primals? I mean, I think the Savage Coil they've done is great. I haven't gotten to see too much of it yet, unfortunately, but I think the concept behind it of fixing all the things that the players like to use and then adding on some things to make it harder, I love a good challenge. That is my kind of thing, so it's my kind of question. I love those challenges, those puzzles of figuring out boss mechanics. That's something that personally interests me. I know it's not something that affects the wide variety of MMO players nowadays, but it is something that I love. I love super difficult challenges, so I'm hoping to get an answer on that. This was more, and then my next question was more of a question for the entire player base. I asked, will players without a lot of gil still be able to enjoy the gold saucer? It's commonly, mentioned as a casino, and whenever I think of a casino, I think, yeah, you gotta have some money put away for a casino, and also you can blow all your money in just minutes at a casino. So I'm hoping that it will be accessible to everyone without gil, because we don't want just the richest people going into the gold saucer. That's I don't know. I want everyone to be able to enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. And my last question is one that I have asked probably 4 times now. If I go back and watch my videos, there's probably in at least 3 other ones. Have you considered making set bonuses that interact with a player's rotation, granting them slight increases in effectiveness, and also fundamentally changing the way they use a spell? I know they mentioned this. They said, oh, we don't want to add stats, like shield bash plus 10 because it's hard to balance, and then it becomes considered mandatory. Listen, I'm not saying you need to just do flat, buffs like that, like shield bash plus 10 or things like that. But set bonuses that reward you for actively participating in a raid tier, I feel is okay. I want to be able to see things like, oh, a white mage casts Cure 2 on a target, has a chance to reset the counter of their regen to the full duration. I want to be able to see things like whenever a black mage uses ethereal manipulation, they'll gain a slight spell speed buff for 10 seconds. I want to see stats like that on gear, but specifically I want to see it tied to the raid set bonuses, so that way it's not that it needs to be balanced, because it's a it's a reward for having already beaten the content. So it just enhances your gameplay experience. That's just how I feel about it. People have different feelings about it, and I would love to see things like that. That's all I'm gonna say. And those were all my questions. I mean, I could think of a million more, but we'd be here all day. Hell, with my videos, we're almost always here all day anyway to finish one. So anyway, guys, be sure to go on the forums and ask your own questions. Be sure to tune in Monday. I'll give you guys an update if I'm going to be doing anything in particular for this live letter. I'll let you guys know sometime over the weekend. But be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. Check out the forums. Ask your own questions. Participate in this. And until next time, guys, take care.